Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Prayers pouring in for women's tennis star Jessica Pegula. Prayers pouring in for women's tennis star Jessica Pegula originally appeared on The Spun. Tennis fans are keeping Jessica Pegula in their thoughts after Tuesday's loss at Wimbledon. Pegula, the number 3 women's player in the world, was dismantled by Elisabetta Cacciaretto 6-2, 6-3 in the opening round at Wimbledon. It was a disappointing result considering she was coming off a title run at Bad Homburg. She played absolutely incredible tennis, Pegula said. Do I think I played the best match ever? No, but I definitely don't think I was playing bad. It wasn't like I was playing that bad. She just was hitting her shots and going for it. Serving big, serving high percentage, going big second serves, redirecting the ball. It was just her day, I honestly think. This is the 3rd Grand Slam tournament in a row that Pegula failed to reach the quarterfinals. After she lost in the 4th round at the French Open, she received a handful of death threats from angry gamblers on social media. These bettors are insane and delusional, and I don't allow DMS, and try to remember when to shut my comments off during tournament weeks, but they always find a way to my timeline, Pegula wrote. This stuff has never really bothered me much, but does any other sport deal with this to our level? I'd love to know because it seems to be predominantly tennis. It's so disturbing. Pegula added, every person on tour deals with it. It's so bad. Those are just really small snippets. I get told my family should get cancer and die from people on here on a regular basis. Absolutely crazy. Even though Pegula has limited comments on Instagram, fans are worried she'll receive more nasty messages in the coming days. I feel for Pegula. She comes from playing one of her best tennis to find a very determined player that fought every point. One fan said, she's been upset very early, a few times in the last few tournaments. It seems to happen when Jessica Pegula can't seem to focus because of family issues. I hope and pray everyone is okay in the Pegula family, another person wrote. I feel so bad for these athletes like Pegula having to take this sort of abuse on social media. A third person commented, we're certainly hoping people leave Pegula alone. There's no place in sports for disgraceful behavior. Pegula will regroup and try to make a run at the U.S. Open later this summer. She made it to the final last year before losing to Aryna Sabalenka. Prayers pouring in for women's tennis star Jessica Pegula first appeared on The Spun on July 1st. 2025. This story was originally reported by The Spun on July 1st, 2025, where it first appeared. The world of women's tennis is no stranger to adversity, but when word spread that something was seriously wrong with Jessica Pegula, the sport collectively held its breath. It began with a cryptic tweet. Life can change in a moment. Please keep my family in your thoughts. Pegula wrote late on a Thursday night. No specifics, no fanfare. Just those quietly haunting words from one of tennis's most stoic competitors. Suddenly, social media ignited with concern. Fellow WTA players reposted the message with broken heart emojis and folded hands. Tennis fans who had cheered her fierce backhands and gritty court presence were now united in worry. What had happened? Jessica Pegula, the 31-year-old American powerhouse and daughter of NFL and NHL team owners, had long stood as a pillar of composure and professionalism on the tour. Ranked consistently in the top 10 over recent years, Pegula had never relied on theatrics. She let her racket speak volumes, calm, controlled, and quietly brilliant. But now, her silence screamed louder than any racket smash. The rumblings begin. A few days before the tweet, eagle-eyed fans noted Pegula's sudden withdrawal from the WTA 1000 event in Cincinnati. It wasn't unprecedented for players to skip tournaments due to injury, but something about this felt different. She's too disciplined to just vanish like this, said longtime analyst Mary Carrillo during a broadcast. When someone like Jessica steps back with no press release, it's worth noticing. Then came whispers from locker room insiders. Jessica had flown home abruptly from training camp in California. Her team had canceled all media availability. A single word began trending alongside her name, emergency. By the weekend, thousands of fans were using the hashtag #PrayForJess. What started as quiet concern had grown into a global outpouring. The family behind the player. To understand why the world reacted so emotionally, one must look beyond Pegula's tennis achievements. Jessica is the daughter of Terry and Kim Pegula, billionaire owners of the Buffalo Bills and Buffalo Sabres. Her family had already faced trauma when, in 2022, Kim Pegula suffered a sudden cardiac arrest at home. Jessica had written a raw essay the following year, revealing how she performed at the Australian Open while flying back and forth from hospitals to care for her mother. "I didn't know if my mom would make it," she had written. "Every match I won felt like a small miracle." The tennis world saw a new layer of Jessica Pegula then, not just as an athlete, but as a daughter, a fighter, and a caregiver under unimaginable pressure. Her honesty resonated deeply. Now, just 3 years later, the community feared history might be repeating itself. Tributes flood in. From Serena Williams to Coco Gauff, support began to flood in. "Sending love to Jess and her family," Gauff posted. "You've always shown strength bigger than the court." Billie Jean King added, "We are with you, Jessica. You've carried so many with grace. Now let us carry you." Even Novak Djokovic, not known for frequent WTA commentary, took a moment during his post-match interview to say, "I heard something has happened with Jessica Pegula's family. My heart goes out to her. We're all one tennis family." Fans from all over the globe began sharing stories. How Pegula's calm demeanor inspired their daughters. How she stayed behind after matches to sign every autograph. How she'd quietly donated to causes without seeking praise. Mystery and compassion. Yet amid the emotional support, questions lingered. What had happened? Jessica's team remained silent. No medical bulletins. No press conferences. Just that original, chilling tweet. The tennis world honored the silence, sensing it was not their story to demand. Instead of speculation, there was compassion. During the National Bank Open in Montreal, a group of players, including Alina Svitolina, Ons Jabeur, and Maria Sakkari, wore black ribbons. Tournament organizers held a moment of silence before the quarterfinals. Broadcasters wore navy blue, Pegula's favorite color. "You don't realize how many lives you touch just by being quietly excellent," said ESPN's Patrick McEnroe. In the stands, a fan held up a simple cardboard sign. "Jessica, we believe in your strength." The woman behind the warrior. Pegula has never courted celebrity. She preferred a life of balance, tennis, family, dogs, and business ventures. Her skincare line, Ready 24, had recently expanded into international markets. She was preparing to launch a new foundation, supporting female athletes. Yet none of it ever eclipsed her identity as a tennis player who showed up, worked hard, and never complained. Pegula wasn't flashy, but she was fierce. Her presence reminded fans that you didn't need dramatics to be dominant. Her fans were the same, loyal, steady, quietly devoted. They flooded her fan mail inbox with drawings, letters, and personal prayers. One 11-year-old girl from the Philippines wrote, "You are my superhero even when you're not playing." Light through the fog. On the 10th day of silence, a video appeared on Jessica's Instagram. It wasn't a press statement or a polished interview. Just Pegula, sitting by a lake, her hair tied back in a simple hoodie. Her voice, calm but tired. "Hi everyone. I just wanted to say thank you. The last week has been one of the hardest of my life. I can't say everything right now, but your love has helped me and my family more than you know." She paused, eyes misty. "I've always believed that strength comes in quiet forms. You've reminded me of that." The video ended not with answers, but with appreciation. And that somehow was enough. Rallying around Pegula, the WTA announced that the season's next tournament in San Diego would be dedicated in part to mental wellness and family strength in sport, a theme inspired by Pegula's ordeal. A panel would be hosted by players who had publicly navigated personal crises while staying on tour. As Pegula's name remained absent from the draws, her spirit felt present everywhere. Nike released a limited edition wristband emblazoned with the words, "Play for Jess." Proceeds would go to a cause of her choosing once she returned. And return, fans believed she would. Because if Jessica Pegula had taught them anything, it was that resilience isn't loud. It's not a comeback speech or a viral forehand. It's showing up when you're broken. It's saying thank you when you have nothing left to give. Hope echoes on. Weeks passed. Jessica's name slowly began appearing again, first in practice reports, then spotted at a Buffalo Bills charity event. Smiling, not talking much, but present. The tennis world didn't need her to explain. They were already writing her story, one of grace under fire, of unwavering spirit, of quiet courage. On her return, no doubt the applause will be thunderous. But even if she never lifts another trophy, Jessica Pegula has already won something rarer: universal respect. Prayers poured in for a tennis star. What rose in their place was something stronger than prayers: love, admiration, and the unshakable belief in a woman who never sought the spotlight but always deserved it.